Alex, let's get this going.
You guys ready?
Yeah. All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Kicking It Custom. I'm your host, Clayton Gelfand, and I'm joined by my co-host, Alex Katz. And our special guest today is former big leaguer, IAN Kinsler. Ian, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, Clayton. How are you doing?
Can't complain. There's a dark world right now, but the sun's shining, so I'm trying to see the positives and everything right now. So, just trying to take a step forward with everything. But without further ado, so I know you're part owner in Warstick, which is a very different and some would say innovative brand within the game of baseball. Would you talk about not only how you got started with them, but some of the inspirations that go behind the products, the styles, and even touch on why art is such a theme in the brand itself?
Yeah. Well, to start, I met the owner of the company. His name's Ben Jenkins in Dallas. I would say now it's probably been 5 or 6 years. Just at a lunch in Dallas here, and he introduced me to Warstick, and right away we kind of hit it off, personality wise, and then obviously, there's people out there that make bats and they're just not really up to par, and you can check them out. They just don't feel right. The weight's kind of off. And the first one that he showed me, it felt great. And then obviously I had to use it in the batting cage and see if it snapped on the first swing or whatever. But it was great wood, and we saw a lot of the same types of things as far as how we like design. And he's a designer by trade. I like a simple design, something maybe a little bit edgy, but nothing too crazy. And that's basically what the Warstick logo was just those 2 stripes. And the whole reason behind it is, there's 2 foul lines in baseball, and everything happens between the lines. Once you're between the lines, that's kind of where you're at. You're locked in mentally. And that's where you got the idea of the 2 stripes, is just being consistently, concentrating on the game and in the game and in between 2 lines. So I really like that. I like the logo, which was huge because a lot of companies started getting really loud and, neon colors and flashy, and I wasn't really about that. I like a classic look. So, we hit it off that way. And then at the time I was in Detroit, playing for the Tigers, and I knew Jack White a little bit. He's a huge Tigers fan, grew up in Detroit. And at the time I was meeting Ben, he said, "Do you know who Jack White is?" I said, "Yeah, I know who Jack White is. He's the White Stripes. Has all these hit songs and everything." And he said, "Well, he's been checking out Warstick." And then he kind of cut ties because he found out that Shinola Watches in Detroit was selling Warstick bats, and he didn't want to piggyback on Shinola. And I said, "That's interesting. I actually know Jack. Let me text him and see how interested he is in Warstick." So I got a hold of Jack, and me and Ben flew to Nashville to meet Jack and proposed the idea of us 3 being the owners of this company. Basically me and Jack investing and Ben being the owner. And it happened in like 2 days. He was all in. We both made an investment, and it's just been a lot of fun since then. So that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been following the brand for a while now. I even tried to do the Easter egg hunt you guys did on Easter this year, because I was trying to procrastinate my homework and studying. So it definitely worked. But could you talk a little bit about the Billy Reed jacket? I know that that's a very stylish jacket, and it's not something you would expect a baseball brand to, produce and make. So can you talk a little about why a baseball brand that started as a bat company has, pivoted and gone into surfboards, skateboards, jackets? It's becoming more of a lifestyle brand, not just a baseball brand.
Yeah, and that's kind of where our focus is. Ben is great at design. He, if you look at the Instagram page, if you look at the Warstick Instagram page, like you said, if you look at the snowboards, if you look at the surfboards, we're getting ready to come out with arrows for bows, hunting arrows, and just the content that he has is super creative, super powerful, and he does a very good job with design. And he's, all 3 of us like to be outside. We like to be active. He snowboards in the winter. He surfs in the summer. He fly fishes. So he does a lot of things outdoors, and that's kind of where his inspiration comes from. And then, you got like Billy Reed and this whole different walk of life from baseball is because of Jack White. We have this very unique relationship, or I guess very unique business plan or business people that are involved, and we can kind of dive into other avenues. And we started doing this sandlot. We started doing sandlot games. So we'd get a bunch of guys together. We'd make these uniforms, these sick, sweet, like war stick uniforms, and then we'd make uniforms for the other team. It would basically just be like a men's league team or something that wanted to play a sandlot game. And we get umpires and we go out and we just play, because Jack wants to play baseball all the time. So him and his band would go out there like dressed up in baseball gear and like kick it around. And Billy Reed's a big baseball fan, so he wanted to play. I think it was down in Alabama. They got a sandlot game going, and Jack and Billy know each other really well. And from then the relationship kind of grew. And he's done a couple other like special edition items just for us. And then we're like, dude, we need to do something for everybody that people have access to. And we came up with the icon jacket. I was actually modeling it, I don't know, a month ago or something, which I'm not much of a model, but I had it on there taking pictures, and I was down in Deep Elm in Dallas, and I was taking a picture underneath Nolan Ryan was beating up Robin Ventura. It was like a huge mural down on the wall, and I was standing there taking a picture under it with his jacket on, and I'm like, that dude's an icon in my head. And I was like, all right, let's call this the icon jacket. So that's what it's called now. And it's just all these weird relationships just keep popping up, and we're able to just get into weird things. Like Eddie Vedder wears our battle t-shirt on stage when he's playing. He's like got the guitar, he's got this huge battle war stick. You can't tell it's a war stick t-shirt just because it says battle across it, and on the back's got a little war stick thing. But Jack and Eddie are good friends, so it's just crazy. And I'm able to get the bat into baseball players' hands in the big leagues and have those guys use it. So it's just a really good relationship that we all have, and it seems to work really well.
That's awesome. So how involved are you with the design process and just a creative design for all the different products?
I try to stay away from that until like the end stages. Ben does a lot of it. Jack does a lot of it, because we're getting ready to open up a building down in Deep Elm right now. And they've designed, this place is crazy. There's like secret doors everywhere. We got like a speakeasy downstairs. We got a batting cage that like goes up at an angle so you can kind of see the launch of your ball. We got, there's going to be a coffee shop in there. Like, it's just going to be bizarre. And those two guys take care of it. And then kind of when they get towards the end, when there's probably like 3 options left, they'll hit me up and be like, hey, what do you think about these 3 options? Which one's your favorite? Because I try to stay away from that unless it's baseball related. Like, hat, I like wearing hats. So it's easy for me to say, yeah, that's a cool hat. Guys would wear that. Or if they want to put a package together for big league guys, the war stick big league guys, and send it to them, they'll ask me about the stuff that they're putting in the box, and I'll let them know if those guys are going to like it or not, stuff like that.
That's awesome. So all 3 owners basically come from different backgrounds. So, you combine all 3, some magic happens.
Yeah, it seems to be working that way.
Absolutely. So I have a question that kind of hits home to me. Being a baseball player and running a business, you did the same throughout, a good portion of your career. How would you answer that question? How were you able to balance it? Whether it was just, doing some part-time stuff for your company, but even just that little bit extra, how'd you manage it?
Honestly, it was pretty simple, because I wasn't really necessarily the owner. The business wasn't running because, I was in everyday operations. We had people that were working to do that. And then Ben did a lot of the, advertising and the Instagram stuff. And whenever he wanted me to post something on Instagram, he'd just text me, and it became pretty simple. But, basically trying to get other players to use the wood bats was kind of my job, I guess. And I didn't push it on anybody. I didn't tell anybody, hey man, you need to use this bat. I wasn't trying to be a salesman. But when guys were asking me about it, I would get them involved and get them in touch with Ben, and Ben kind of took over from there. So, it was honestly pretty easy. When you're playing baseball, you're in the middle of the summer, you're so focused on baseball, you try to block everything else out and just kind of like lock in on baseball. And then the off season comes and you get like those 2 months free, the first 2 months where you can do some other things, and then you kind of get back to training. So for those first 2 months, you know, I'd kind of jump in and see where the business was at, what the plans are, where they're trying to, you know, what they're trying to do next. You tell me about the surfboards and the snowboards and stuff like that. So it was pretty easy, and lucky for me, I had, you know, 2 really good business partners.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. So I have a quick question, and this is probably our last question regarding Warstick brand. But I recently saw you guys did a Mossy Oak collab, and I wanted to know just who would you want to work with if you were going to do another collab next? Like, what kind of brand out there are you interested in doing something with?
Man, that's a tough question. There's so many brands. There's so many cool brands. You know, for me, the first one that comes to my mind is just Nike, honestly, because I wore Nike for a long period of my career, all the way to the end. And I still wear all their stuff. And I love the relationships I developed with those people. And to be able to do something with Nike, because they don't have any wood bats right now. You know, you don't see anybody swinging a Nike wood bat in the big leagues. So to collab with Nike would be awesome. They do stuff like that all the time. They're a huge company with all kinds of marketing abilities. So that's the first one that came to my mind, but that's a tough question. And I know if I sat down and actually thought about it and we had a lot more time, I think I could probably come up with a couple more, but I'll stick with that one.
Well,
That's really cool.
I'm sure you and Nike could do something cool. I know Nike and baseballs and, you know, created some pretty cool shoes, and anything with Nike, you know, it's going to be first class. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it if you guys do something together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to move on to a little bit more of baseball and on the field stuff. Since being called up to the big leagues in 2006, how has the style of you know, players on the field changed? Not just off the field, but, you know, on the field equipment, you know, colors, style, just the way that guys, you know, dress on the field. Because I know the game has changed a lot just in recent years, you know, especially starting from up top. You know, a lot of old school guys, you know, I feel like the game is younger than ever now. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, you being in the game firsthand, what did you notice?
Definitely changed. I mean, you know, it's changed. When I first came into the big leagues, wearing like special markup shoes or colors on your cleats, not just black and white, or the team colors like the Royals, you guys wear blue, like it's blue and white cleats. That's it. If you're a rookie or first 3 years, or you haven't really done anything, accomplished anything like an all-star game or anything like that, you were wearing team issued colors. You know, when I first got to the big leagues, it was blue. Like I wore blue. Let's see. I got all kinds of stuff right here. Hold on.
Yeah, a little show and tell would be nice.
Yeah, I got some show and tell.
Nice.
So, like, this was my first all-star cleat. It was Mizuno, and it's just blue and red.
Classic, though.
Yeah, just straight, like, classic Mizuno cleat, you know?
But you're a pants up guy,
oh, yeah.
so you know you always had that classic look going on, and
Hey,
the cleats with the tongue look good with the pants up.
They still make that
exactly.
model too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, they still make that. So that was like, it's pretty low key. And like you said, I wore pants up, so I always had to think about the whole shoe. But when I was first coming up, guys just wore black and white or whatever the team color was. As my career moved along, guys started just getting way more fashionable. And then you had like Nike ID, and once guys started wearing different colored cleats and kind of showing off a little bit, everybody wanted to do it. And now a rookie comes in the league and he's like totally loaded and looks, you know, clean and good, and he's got all the colors. But, you know, now they're getting crazy neon colors and all kinds of stuff. It's a little bizarre, but like that's a all-star game cleat.
Which model is
Clippers?
that? Yeah, those
That's
look like
that's an old Cooper. That's a Mike Young.
Air Coops.
That's a Mike Young.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Mike Young all-star cleat from back in the day, but
That's sweet.
yeah, I
personally like Nike's older model cleats better.
I did too.
Did you ever wear the 2K4s, the original Hirachis?
Yeah, I wore those in black and white, I think, and that was it. I like those. They were a little heavy. They felt heavy to me, even though they weren't, but they felt heavy to me. Yeah, so that's kind of how it went as far as cleats and what you're wearing. Like now everybody wears these huge chains and diamonds and all kind of, every dude on the field has a chain on now. And when I first got in the league, nobody wore chains. I mean, very rare you'd see a guy with a chain. And if you did, it was tucked inside his jersey. You can kind of see it around his neck. But now it's like diamonds everywhere. Like, just, I don't know. Mickey Mantle might be rolling over in his grave.
Oh, yeah. So what –
I mean, what wasn't it Yoenis Cespedes who had a full-on diamond necklace break sliding into second base?
Oh, yeah, him and Adam Jones. I think Adam Jones did that too.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
Hey, if you got it, I guess whatever, take the risk. But you wouldn't catch me rocking diamonds on a baseball field.
No, I'm trying to dive, man.
Yeah. So how do you think it changed over the years? What became, what allowed it to become acceptable for these guys to be, rocking this amount of swag on the field? Is it more the veteran presence just opening up, or what do you think?
I think it's the companies. I think the companies are trying to get what really happened was the All-Star game. So you go to the All-Star game and you get these crazy cleats. You get these colored cleats that were just bizarre, and guys started saying, oh, this is cool. Like, people are noticing these cleats, and the companies are saying, oh, they're noticing, everybody's talking about the home run derby cleats or whatever's going on. And I think that just started the whole wave. And guys, Nike started giving way more options to players as far as the Nike ID and customizing the bottom of your cleats. It used to be like a white bottom. If you had a white bottom on your cleat, you were doing something right in the big leagues. And now guys got like gold and fluorescent and shiny oil plated and like all this crazy stuff. So I think the options for the companies have just gotten so crazy that guys are just taking advantage of it and kind of showing off. So I think it's cool. I did it, when I was able to do it, I did it. So I think it's pretty fun to see what guys choose to wear.
Cool. So my next question for you is, of the 5 teams you played for, what was your favorite jersey combination?
Favorite jersey combination? Man, I don't know. When I first came up, I wore the Rangers cutoffs.
Yeah,
like
those are pretty clean.
Yeah, like the softball jersey with the cutoff here and then the blue sleeve underneath the jersey. And I love those for some reason.
They don't still use those, right?
What's that?
They don't still use those, right?
No, they don't use those anymore. We got rid of them and we added the red alternative jersey, and that was nice too. Wearing the red in Texas was really cool. Detroit's straight classic. It's just the old English D. We just had 2 jerseys, the home and road. Boston had the red, which was sick. I had a red alternative, a blue alternative. I'd probably say that original softball style Rangers jersey.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. I think I'm imagining like Beltre just rocking it at third base, just looking crazy. But anyways, so me and Alex, we're going through Instagram and we noticed one picture of you it was you and the rest of the guys traveling, getting ready to go on a travel trip. And I think you were rocking this crazy button-up shirt and Jordan 1s and whatnot. And so we really wanted to know, what's your go-to travel shoe?
On Manny Machado Day and non-Manny Machado Day.
Yeah, that was Manny
305.
Yeah,
Day,
that was
right?
Manny to Miami Day. That's what we called it. I threw that together. I was like, all right, boys, we're going to Miami. We're going to Manny's stomping grounds. Let's get – everybody has to dress like Manny. So everybody tried to dress like Manny as best they could. But, yeah, I love the Jordan 1. That's Jordan 1, Jordan 1 low, like the OG. Those are the 2 Jordan shoes that I wear. Other than that, I really don't wear any other Jordans. But on the road, mostly I'm a comfort guy. Like, I just like just the classic white shoe or black shoe that goes with the suit, brown, whatever. Try to stay comfortable and classic is kind of my thing when I travel.
Definitely.
That's awesome. So we were just talking about your Nike cleats throughout the years. Can you talk about the process and inspiration behind your PEs that you designed with Nike? Maybe, when you designed it, was it the same time period every year? Maybe like December, January, what that process was like? Maybe, as you put more service time into the big leagues? Did they give you more leeway with the design? How exactly did that work?
Well, you had to have 3 All-Star games, and Adrian Beltre was in. We were teammates, and there's this thing called a Nike trip every year, a baseball Nike trip. In the off season, you get to go on like Hawaii or Mexico, or they put together like this crazy trip, and they pay for it all, and like 11 or 12 players go, and we all hang out for like a week, play golf and do the whole thing. And at some point during that little vacation, you get together with the guy who's designing the shoes, and you sit down on the computer and you go over everything. You go over through the new model that's coming out, how you want to design it, what colors you want it to look like. Like, it's crazy how many options there are. You can make your shoes look absolutely bizarre, but I would sit there with the guy for like 2 hours, like just messing around with all the different options. But that was kind of the process. Is we did it in the off season. I did it in the off season when I went on this Nike vacation, and then later in my career when I didn't go on the Nike vacation because my kids were getting older, we just did it all over the computer for email. Sending files back and forth and trying to lock in a nice shoe model. Like I got some pretty sick ones. Like I got all kinds of stuff here. Check these out. So these
are we in the man cave right now? What is this room?
Yeah. It's like all my.
Oh wow,
that's sick
stuff. So like check these out. Let's see.
Ooh. The snakeskin Hirachis.
Snakeskin Hirachi with the shiny swoosh right here.
Those are sick.
The shiny bottoms.
Were you a player that often traded with other guys that you played with and against?
Not really. I when I was younger, I used to get signed stuff all the time. Like I got this pair of Adam Joneses right here.
Oh yeah, the Swingmans, right? Yep.
Yeah, Swingmans.
Yep.
I got the Griffey Swingman. Remember the year Griffey made the Hall of Fame and they came out with those Griffey Swingmans?
Yeah, those are sick.
Yeah, those are sick.
McCutcheon and those guys all had them.
Yeah.
I see some Jordan 13s there too on the table.
Yeah, these puppies?
Oh yeah.
These are David Price's.
Sweet.
So you did a little bit of trading, or maybe not trading. Maybe they just gave
collecting.
Yeah.
For sure. Like Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, the Jordan 4s.
Yeah, he rocked these all the time.
Yeah, those are classic.
So yeah, those are sick. There's crazy stuff. I mean, I tried to collect stuff, at least especially from the players that were, Hall of Fame type players. And they were rocking cleats like that, ask for a signed pair. So, I got some cool stuff laying around.
That's
okay.
sweet.
So my last question for you, and since we're talking about crazy shoes, this is perfect way to end my question, or before we head into rapid fire, or what we like to call not so rapid fire. How do you think custom cleats can change the game of baseball? Well, I guess you could say people like you had the opportunity to really go customs, but a lot of, younger guys, even the guys that don't have a lot of money, are able to take a blank cleat and turn it into something. And kind of from that standpoint, how it gives them, the ability to do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think it makes it more fun. The saying, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
That's so true. You look good and you feel good on the basketball court, the baseball field, wherever you're at. You probably have a better chance to play good. It's just mental, and I think that allows people to feel good on the field a lot quicker, design their own thing. They've touched it, they've designed it, they have pride in it. And I think that, it makes them feel good. So, I like the idea of designing your own cleat. I think, Nike and the other companies, Under Armour, New Balance, whoever, they just keep pushing the envelope as far as innovation, like as far as making the athlete better, keeping the foot more locked in, making it more flexible yet sturdy when you're trying to turn the bases or pitching, like the design of the shoe and what the bottom is and how the cleats are lined up and the whole thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I'm going to throw it to Alex now, who is going to finish you off with some rapid fire.
Absolutely. So it's going to be 5 questions talking about baseball and style. And, You could answer them as fast or as slow as you want. You ready? I think we lost them.
Yeah, let's see if he can reconnect. But I'm gonna pause them.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. New room, huh?
My phone died.
Oh, there we go. Now we're good now, right?
Yeah, no more cool.
You showed off everything. We got that covered, I guess, right?
Totally wrecking the podcast right now.
No, you're good. Thank God for editing.
Yeah, good.
We'll be able to snip it in. But so up next we got rapid fire. Basically, it's just we're gonna end it with 5 questions, and you could answer them as quick or as slow as you want. Most of our guests have taken their time with the answers. You ready?
Yeah, Logan Morrison's like 20 minutes per question. So I mean,
yeah. So if you're 15
people,
minutes,
though,
that's fast.
Like what was it? Jesse Chavez answered like 25 seconds per question.
Oh, Flacco. Yeah, Flacco. Did you know his nickname's Flacco? Jesse Chavez.
We did not know that.
I played with Jesse in the minor leagues.
I feel like he's been with the Rangers for like forever.
Yeah, he's just all over the place. Oakland, Rangers, Pittsburgh, back to the Rangers, then somewhere else and back to the Rangers.
Always back to the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, so you ready for the first question?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, first question is favorite sneaker of all time.
Jordan 1.
Jordan 1. Second one, what is your go-to sneaker right now? So you're going to the grocery store, maybe it's a shoe that you just leave at your front door and, you just slip them on, head out.
Well, these are slip-ons. What are these called?
I don't know. I honestly have never seen those.
Like the React or something? Like
they look brand new.
Yeah.
Let's just slip them on, go to the store. Like
I don't think you were supposed to show us. Those don't come out for another 2 months.
Pop them.
Well,
that's it.
Whatever that one is.
We got the sneak peek, I guess,
We got the sneak peek. What's your favorite model cleat of all time? Since you started playing baseball, could even be little league, middle school, high school.
Ponies. I had these sweet ponies. It had like a little chevron shack on the side.
Yeah.
And they were like kangaroo leather. They were super.
What year was that?
Oh man, that had to be. I was 13 and 14 when I wore those. So I was born in '82. So 95.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a classic.
I've actually gotten on the internet and tried to look for a pair of those, but
no luck with that.
No.
I feel like that's like the cleat of the Bad News Bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there's at least one pair on eBay. I'll check. If I see them, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, some old school ponies, but they have to be like the kangaroo leather ones because they're heavier and that kangaroo leather just like forms to your foot.
You'll be rocking them in the Olympics next year, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Who in the MLB has the most swag? And usually we say former or current. Up to you, whatever you want to choose.
And it's standard. We usually get the same answer for a former player. So that's why we like to ask both.
Who in the league has the most swagger? I think about that. Hold on. I mean, you got to go Mike Trout, right?
We haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, we haven't heard that yet, but
you got his own league.
Yeah, that's a good
true.
choice.
That's true. And I think
the guy's the best. He's the best in the game. He has the sweet shin guard, the sick cleats. I mean, he definitely has some swag.
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
What about former player? What are your thoughts on that?
Former player? Jeter probably.
Yeah, that's one we heard. But usually we get Griffey. Sometimes we've heard Bonds.
Yeah, Bond started the whole like pant over the shoe thing.
Yeah, and then we were talking about Griffey. It reminded me of when you were talking about your tank top jerseys. I think of like the iconic Griffey picture is him at the All-Star game with his hat backwards, and he's got that cut-off Mariners jersey on.
Yeah,
it's looking so swag. But
didn't they wear that in like 2003? It was like a Back to the Future series, and I think all 30 teams had those cut-offs.
Oh yeah, it was an All-Star game. You're right.
Yeah, it was like that retro thing.
Yeah, the retro look.
Yeah.
And our last question, if you could rock any custom design on the diamond, what would it be? So think Players Weekend, maybe even a little less restrictive than that. So anything imaginable, doesn't have to be team colors.
And it doesn't have to be crazy either. We know you're a simple guy, so.
Well, I'll definitely have the front flap, that covers the shoes, like the old school baseball, like tongue flap.
Yeah, like the Air Coops or the Clippers.
Yeah, I love the flap. So it would be a shoe with that on it. I don't know. And then, man, I don't know. That's a hard question. There's so many options.
I think like what Jesse said, and I thought he thought he was like the most thoughtful one when he answered this, was he said he would take each number he's ever played with and each team name, right? Something like that, and put it on the cleat for his last year,
Yeah, well, like every jersey has like a different, different format or different font. So he would have that number from that jersey in that specific font.
Yeah, I think you'd have to go back. You'd have to go back in your life, and I think the little league that I played in, they were green and gold, and the high school that I went to was green and gold. The Canyon del Oro Dorados is what we were called. So I'd probably rock like a green and gold cleat or something. But I'm not on the Oakland A's, so I don't know if that would play. But that's kind of what with the whole Jesse Chavez thing. I think I'd go to when I was a kid and playing in little league.
Nice.
Yeah, dope. So I'm going to add one more to this because I know we said 5, but I wanted to know this. So I go to school out in Michigan, so I know what it's like, the weather out there, but I'm from the West Coast. So it's different worlds. Are you a guy that likes the cold or the heat?
I like the heat, and I liked the heat until I got to the cold. Does that make sense?
So because I'm a guy that I like, wearing sandals and shorts and whatever, but I like layers. I think layers are stylish. And I think the Midwest allows you to do that more often than some places. Well, you're in Texas or Arizona.
Right. Like I grew up in Arizona in the desert. And then I played in Texas for all those years. So it was always hot. And then when I got traded to Detroit and it's snowing in April and May, and you're playing in these cold weather cities like Minnesota and Kansas City early in the season, Cleveland and Chicago, you get used to it. But then you realize your body feels a lot better at the end of the season. You're not as worn down. You don't have to stay hydrated every day, as hydrated every day. So I learned to appreciate the cold, but I think I would rather have it.
Awesome. I was just interested because, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the Midwest. It's freezing. I can't deal with the cold. And then, I'm on my 4th year now. I'm like, well, it's not that bad. You get used to it and it's hard to get used to 110. So
you can definitely layer up in that cold, man.
Yeah. Well, Ian, that actually concludes this episode of Kicking It Custom. To those listening, remember, comment below who you want us to have on next. Ian, we really appreciate you being here, talking business in style and kicks with us. We hope we get to talk to you again in the future. But we appreciate everything, all the show and tells, and we can't wait to drop this episode. So we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, take
thanks
care.
for coming on. Best of luck with everything.
All right, see you guys.
Take care.